Welcome. I'm Rita Musera from Melrose TV, and we are at Tower Hill Botanical Gardens. With me is Joanne Vieira, who knows everything about agriculture, etc. So she'll tell you a whole world filled with fun things, vegetables, flowers, and heaven too. And here is Joanne.
Thank you so much for that introduction. I don't claim to know everything, but I know quite a bit about Tower Hill Botanic Garden, and especially the wonderful aspects of our collection, like the apple collection that we're standing in front of today. This collection is near and dear to us, and it's just part of the whole 132 acres that we have. It's a preservation collection, and we actually are growing these 119 heirloom varieties because we want to keep them from extinction. So for us, even though we have these lovely apples on the tree now, the real crop for us is the grafting wood. We're really focusing on sending out grafting wood so that people can grow these trees in their own backyard. So we're standing in front of a particular variety called sweet wine sap, which is little known anymore. It's not a commercially viable apple because it ripens over a long season, and it doesn't ship very well. And so because of that, it's fallen from favor. People still remember sweet wine sap because it has such a wonderful flavor to it and it's such a beautiful apple, but not many people are actually growing it anymore. So that's our reason for preserving these old varieties in this collection.
When was the place founded?
The Horticultural Society, the Worcester County Horticultural Society, owns and operates the Botanic Garden, and the Horticultural Society was actually begun in 1842. They were incorporated, incorporated in 1842, and devoted to educating people about plants. Through most of the society's history, they did that through flower shows and through classes and workshops in their library in downtown Worcester. But in the 1970s, they began to realize that the Horticultural Society membership was declining and that not a lot of families and young people were getting involved. So they started to look for a way to rejuvenate the organization and really felt that building a botanic garden where people could enjoy every aspect of the beauty of the natural world and horticulture, they felt that was really the way to rejuvenate the organization. And so in 1986 bought this property.
Wow, this is wonderful.
It's a beautiful
it's
piece
really
of...
heaven. I noticed the sign on top of your orangerie and written in Latin.
If there's heaven on earth, this is it.
This is it.
Joy
Okay,
everlasting.
That's why I said this is heaven.
It is. It really is a very special place.
It's lush, it's beautiful, it's wonderful put together. It's just great.
Thank you, Rita. Thank you.
you.
Our collection of apples are, as I said, our focus is really not on the fruit as much as it's on maintaining healthy, viable trees. But we do a couple of sprays, but nothing like what a commercial orchard would do. So when we pick an apple off the tree, which by the way we don't encourage our visitors to do, but when we do our taste testing tours here on Columbus Day weekend, it gives us an opportunity to look at the consequences of not spraying a lot. And sometimes we see some blemishes on the exterior part of the apple. But in most cases, the interior portion of the apple is just perfectly fine. So sweet wine sap is an apple that actually has a waxy protective coating, all natural, on its skin. And when you pluck it off, it looks sort of dusty and gray. But if you just give it a shine up, it becomes this beautiful, classic
it's ready
apple.
to eat.
Ready to eat.
I feel like Eve in the Garden of Eden.
Perfect. 119 different varieties in this collection, and with that many varieties, you can find an apple for just about any use. And there are still some varieties that are known to people today. Rhode Island Greening is a very famous pie apple. It's a New England apple, originated in Rhode Island, Greens End, Rhode Island in the 1600s. And is one that still people know because the trees tend to be long-lived and farmers still are aware of this variety. It's a sort of a harvest festival that we do, so we have all kinds of great activities going on. We have things for, activities for children and families. We have local vendors who are selling food and selling the crafts that they make locally. We have hay rides and these taste testing tours through the orchard, which people find so fascinating. We actually pull the apples right off the tree. We talk about the history. We talk about how to grow these varieties, and then we slice them open right there in the orchard as we walk around and compare the flavors.
And do you have a harvest that harvests all your trees? Or what do you
We
do?
We harvest for that weekend and we sell them that weekend. And anything that doesn't sell within the next few days after Columbus Day go to the Veterans Shelter and to a homeless shelter shelter nearby.
Yeah, is that at the Rachel's table?
Rachel's table, absolutely.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes, thank you
That
for
sounds
mentioning that.
wonderful.
We're standing in the orangery, which is one of our prized winter spaces at the Botanic Garden. The plants that are in here are all in containers. They go outdoors for the summer months, and then in the middle of September we pick them up and move them all back indoors and arrange them according to their needs first and foremost. So the plants that need sunny conditions are on the south side of the conservatory. Those that are more tolerant of shade come onto the north side. And then we try to group them in these colorful arrangements with great textural contrast. Lots of plants for fragrance and many things that just are interesting all winter long because they have great color or form or texture.
But these are placed so beautifully. Do you follow up design?
We sort of design on the fly. We know basically what we want to do and we think it out. One of our horticulturists, Patrick Hillman, comes up with what he thinks is the right grouping of plants and where he'd like to see certain colors. And then we just pull plants together. It takes a lot of placing them, stepping back and looking to see if we like it, shifting and adjusting them, changing them out until we get it just so.
So it's not just flowers, there are also greenery.
Right. And in fact, it's more about the foliage color and texture in here than it is about flowers. So if you look down this array of plants, you'll see that there are sunflowers here with a small flowering maple, but a lot of it is really about combining different foliage types and different foliage colors.
Just wonderful.
And the fragrances and the sound of the fountains and the music in the background. It's really a very special place to be on a cold January day.
I notice your turtle fountain.
And our turtle fountains.
It's a must-see when you come here.
They are amazing. And just outside the doors of the orangery, and sandwiched between the orangery and the Lemonaya, which is the lemon house, is the winter garden. And in the winter garden are the turtle fountains, which spit at each other all winter long. So we heat the pool a little bit so the water doesn't freeze, and they're able to spit water at each other all winter long. So that's a really fun feature.
And when does the orange blossom or lemon blossom happen?
The orange and lemon trees bloom off and on all year round. That's what makes them such a great house plant. They will bloom, bud, and set fruit simultaneously. So they'll have all phases of fruit production on a plant at the same time. So off and on throughout the winter, there's one or another of the citrus trees blooming, which perfume the air so beautifully.
When you conduct classes, all this is included.
Right, that's right. Depending on the topic of the class, yes.
And you also have music festivals here.
We do. We have a concert series. We have a concert series primarily during the summer, although we still do concerts in our Great Hall during the winter months as well.
And where are they held?
In the winter months, they're in the Great Hall. In the summer months, they're either in this conservatory or on our main lawn, which is a lot of fun.
And is that through a season or?
You really should watch our website for that. They punctuate the season. So more of them are during the summer months, but we do an event called Flora in Winter in the winter months, usually in early February. And there's usually a concert associated with that.
We'll really spread the word.
Thank you.